Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video. We got another update for patch 12.0.5 because, as you probably know, unless you were living under a rock or happened to not log in this week, which may have been a blessing to avoid all of the stuff that got absolutely busted and broken on this patch's update. Blizzard has addressed more of the bugs, more of the issues, and some class tuning in this round of updates. And if you want to make sure you're staying up to date with news related to World of Warcraft, educational and entertaining content, then make sure to smash that subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. So now on April 24th, you're going to be able to get your keystone mounts for getting 3,400 rating. You're going to be able to get the old ones from previous seasons. This is something that I'm actually very close to getting to myself. I think I'm like one more 16 key away from 3,400 rating. I've actually been having a really good time in Mythic Plus. So if you've been considering, maybe PvP feels frustrating to you right now, you're DCing out of every lobby, or you feel like your class isn't 100% the most competitive, I encourage you to actually give it a shot. I was actually very pleasantly surprised with how fun I've been having on it. I've been tanking on it, been healing on it. Haven't been really doing DPS in it. I feel like if you're DPSing it, it gets pretty rough, especially if you're pugging, just because I think the queue times for Mythic Plus is probably like 10 times as long as Solo Shuffle as a DPS by yourself, especially if you're not a meta spec, especially if you're new. It's very long, so I would recommend that you play a tank or healer, but tank or healer has a lot of cool mechanics and responsibilities in it that make it very entertaining. I've been enjoying balancing both of them and kind of using Mythic Plus as a bridge right now until inflation hits for arenas, so you're able to get more rating to actually get to the rewards that are in the game, because right now it's very deflated. So it's been very nice for filling that time in between while waiting for inflation, and now you'll actually be able to get the mount. Pandaren characters who boost during the intro sequence will now be able to port to their houses. I don't know how that ended up breaking. This is why it's always fun to read these, to see like what exactly broke on the patch notes, because like what? Why would that even break? Okay, and who's boosting pandas? Who's buying boosts still with time walking this week? What's going on here? Who found that out? Now, Unholy DKs, these guys were threatening to close down their Discord server because Unholy DK was so broken. So I'm actually curious to see what Blizzard has done to address the issues that they had. So for Unholy, Festering Scythe is now an aura on the player, resolving issues that occur when extending the duration of plagues. Developers notes the underlying issues here was proving to be problematic for a number of reasons, and we felt like this would be the safest approach for now. So taking it as a debuff and then making it a buff on yourself instead. They've resolved an issue causing Magus of the Dead to not take action immediately on spawn. So you were just losing damage because Magus wasn't attacking. Resolved an issue causing Forbidden Knowledge rank 4 to activate less than stated. So you were getting less of your Apex talent. They resolved an issue causing Unholy Devotion to grant haste in addition to attack speed and energy regeneration. So you're losing a little bit of haste. So it's weird. Some of these were buffs. Disease Cloud is now cast by the Abomination, resolving issues such as it not interacting with pet scaling talents. That was weird. So the cloud was casted by you, even though the pet was walking around with it, so it wasn't scaling off the pet stuff. Oh my god, this is making me wonder what's broken on other things. Like, I've been playing my Affliction Lock, which I had a lot of fun with until 12.0.5, and then I've played it after 12.0.5, and I feel like I do no damage. And I've seen some Affliction Locks in PvE saying some of their stuff is broken. So maybe something there is actually going to get fixed. We'll have to see. But a significant portion of Unholy, so maybe Unholy will feel better as a result of these changes if you haven't played. Although I think I've seen most Unholy DKs, at least now in PvP, they're playing Gargoyle. And the Gargoyle is actually pretty good. I would recommend you try the Gargoyle if you haven't tried the Gargoyle talent instead of the Abomination. For Devourer Demon Hunter, they fixed an issue causing the single button assistant and assisted highlight to not recommend Collapsing Star outside of melee range. So you one button fanatics out there, which honestly, they might outnumber us, which is weird because they only have one numbered keybind, but they outnumber us 1,000 to 1 with one button. Probably. There's probably more one-button players than not, I think, actually, in World of Warcraft. I wish they released that as a stat. It would be interesting. Vengeance Demon Hunter. They fixed an issue that caused Metamorphosis to be put on cooldown when Last Resort's effect triggered. So Tank Demon Hunters, that seems like a big deal. You're not just going to randomly lose your Metamorphosis when you get low health. For Marksmanship Hunter, they corrected an issue where Unbreakable Bond could give the damage reduction affection to the hunter rather than their pets. This is the thing that was making Marksmanship Hunter more tanky than intended. And Marksmanship Hunter got really hit hard here. So its defense is getting getting hit, and we'll see in the PvP section how much its offense got hit. But this might be the biggest nerf a spec has ever gotten, I think. For Frost Mage, they fixed an issue causing Hand of Frost rank 2 to not provide the correct percent chance increased per stack of Shatter. So Frost Mage actually got stronger. Yikes. For Holy Paladin, they fixed an issue that caused Holy Armaments to significantly impact frame rates. Thank God, because I don't have a lot of RAM, so my frame rates appreciate this type of fix. For Shadow Priest, I mean, honestly, at this point, I feel like just deleting you would be better for all of you Shadow Priest mains, but let's see what they tried to do. For Void Weaver, they fixed an issue causing overwhelming shadows to increase the damage of Mind Blast. They did delete you. They deleted you. You're not gonna, you had a little bit too much extra damage in the Mind Blast. We're taking that back. It was bugged, so we're taking it back. We're claw-backing this Mind Blast. We like you where you are, Shadow Priests. For Trickster Rogues, they fixed an issue that caused Cloud Cover's effect to cost 30 energy to activate. This cloud is super annoying. I've seen in PvP, because it looks exactly like a smoke bomb. So you think you're in a smoke bomb and you trinket and you're not. I swear it's the biggest meme thing. It's the biggest meme thing. I actually wonder if it'll like impact AWC at all, because obviously Rogue is very strong right now. I'm surprised it didn't get any adjustments, but like I've seen in Shuffle, people just trinket because they think it's a real smoke bomb and it's not. I feel like it needs to... I don't know if that was done intentionally to try and give rogues better win rates in solo PvP content, because lower rated rogues struggle in PvP typically. So like if a lower rated rogue gets a trinket for free because they trinket a fake bomb and it gives them a chance to win the game, they think that that's good. Or if they think it's bad that it overlaps visually because it looks identical. Trickster's Cloud Cover visual effect is now only visible to the caster in all circumstances. Oh, maybe they did fix it. Wait a minute. Wait, like, does this include enemies or does this include your allies? Because I can imagine that it was like a visual clutter spam in like a raid if you even had like 2 rogues just dropping these bombs. But if it's all circumstances, then, that's a good fix. That's a good fix. I was just saying that's a problem. That's an immediately good fix, so that people aren't just trinketing the random bombs. For Affliction, they fixed an issue where Jinx would not function if Foul Mouth was not talented. Now, isn't Jinx a PP talent? Why is it up here? Maybe it's something else. It might be something else. I don't know if that's going to affect your damage in PvP too much. For Demonology, they fixed an issue where Demonic Gateway would benefit Hellbent Commander. What? Your Gateway was counted as a pet? Dude, there's so much just random stuff. These things are super entertaining to read sometimes. For Delves, Valera is no longer unwilling to attack Poison Dart Frog or Giant Cursed Bullfrog. She didn't like hitting the frogs, man. She supports the frogs. Why you gotta make her kill the frogs? Atal Aman adjusted the placement of several out-of-range Sanctified banners in 2 story variants. They're out of range. Oh, those are the flags that give you extra loot at the end? They're just like completely out of range in the instance. The Dark Way, the corrupted ley line will no longer sometimes continue to cast Detected after being out of its range. For Mycera Caverns, they addressed an issue where players could remain in combat after defeating Vordaza. For Housing, Decorative Dornagal Opal Small, Medium, Large are now available for purchase from the Disguised Decor Dual Vendor in Silvermoon. So just some extra cosmetics you'll be able to purchase. And here it is. This is it. This is the, my God, they deleted you from the game, my guys here. So Precise Shots now benefits Killshot and Black Arrow at 50% less effectiveness. So the main issue I have with this change, one is that it feels overkill on top of the 30% Black Arrow nerf. I feel like this probably would have been enough on its own. The other issue with this is that it affects Killshot. So if you're not playing Dark Ranger, it nerfs Sentinel even harder, and Sentinel was even already weaker. So I'm not a big fan of this change because it nerfs your other hero talent tree, while also, I think, over-nerfing the Dark Ranger one. And they also just nerfed all damage by 10%. So again, I don't think this is the right change because the main issue is the True Shot window. Also, this changed from the last time that I read it because they had like a rapid-fire talent that they nerfed, and they changed that. I swear this is different than what I read before. They had nerfed, I think it was called Unload, which was the one that fires a black arrow at the start of rapid-fire and at the end of it. On top of all of these other things, I think they removed that and they just give you a 10% flat nerf, which again affects Sentinel, I think, harder than it affects Dark Ranger, unless they're intending for you to be Dark Ranger. They've said here several talent changes in 12.0.5 led to Marksmanship overperforming PvP. These updates target changes to Black Arrow and their overall damage to account for the new interactions and reduce their effectiveness at both burst damage and overall pressure. I just feel like the main issue for them was all of their damage is in their cooldowns. These changes make it so that you just only do damage in cooldowns now and feel really bad without them. which it already was like that, but it was kind of overkill. I definitely needed to be nerfed. It definitely needed to be nerfed, but I feel like this was like the most heavy-handed nerf of all time. Like, and BM Hunter is so good. You just go BM Hunter. I did yesterday. It is so good. Mass invisibility is no longer going to target players carrying Deep Hall crystals in Deep Hall Ravine. I hate mass invisibility, bro. It's such a... They need to nerf the PvP talent that reduces its cooldown. I feel like it's up way too much. The detargeting and how it affects your frames, and it bugs out your diminishing return timers. I hate it. I hate mass invisibility so much for those reasons. But you won't be able to use it to invis a flag carrier across the map. Priest fixed an issue causing Cyclone to be able to be applied while a priest has Psychic Shroud active. So you were bugged there with your crowd control immunity, and now it will actually provide crowd control immunity. And then there were some quest fixes as well here for today. So I don't think there was anything additional on that. I guess there's a little bit of nerfs here, double dipping on the bond talents. But I don't think anything too major outside of that. So obviously one of the biggest mishaps of a patch of all time, and they are doing their best right now to stitch everything back together and have the game be functional. So hopefully that will be sooner than later that they are able to do this. I think it's a good thing that we postponed AWC as well by an additional week to work through this and see how everything resolves. But I'll be updating my PvP tier list tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming tonight, doing more testing as well, and we'll see how accurate I was with the predictions. I'm going to include my marksman prediction before these nerfs happen, but then assess where they'll be after the nerfs. Just because I want to see how close my prediction was for the patch, to see if I'm as relevant and important for keeping you guys up to date as possible, to be held accountable. So thank you guys very much for watching this update, and I will see you in the next one.